Hi, I am Rudy Begas, and in this video I'll explain systemic consensing, a motivating way to make sustainable group decisions. Have you ever decided as a group by majority vote? Then you know there are pros and cons, winners and losers, diametrically opposed. Let's take a look at the example of 4 friends who want to throw a party. Everyone has their personal preference for catering. Tom likes the mobile snack bar in front of the door, Karen swears by the mobile pizza oven, Petra opts for the sushi food truck, and George wants a grill master in the garden. This way you can encounter a stalemate without a clear majority. Often in those cases, someone is brought in to solve the issue. In this case, Frank has absolute power. Whatever he decides will happen for the whole group. He likes Karen, he likes sushi, and so sushi wins with 40% in favor, while 60% of the group is against this outcome. So with majority voting you are either a winner or a loser. It measures approval or disapproval. One person can only cast one vote, which can result in power play. Another decision system is consensus, where everyone has to agree. To get everybody on board, this can take a very long time. In order to convince people, concessions often diminishes the quality of the proposal. And the result can be the dictatorship of the minority. Yet another common system is the veto right. There is no equality here, which has a demotivating effect. It also stops initiatives and creativity. Systemic consensing is about reversing negativity. So, if we reverse all these previous disadvantages, we obtain the advantages of systemic consensing. Another sustainable, motivating and connecting way to make supported group decisions, invented by Erich Wisocznik and Siegfried Schrotta. A typical example of the conflict-resolving strength of systemic consensing is the rotational system at a German university. There were too many exchange students and the current system of teaching them German was unable to cope with this influx. There were 7 proposals for a new rotational system. By majority vote, proposal 3 was elected as the winner. Immediately after implementation, the majority of the professors went on strike. To get out of the deadlock, Erich Wisocznik's help was called in and the vote was redone via systemic consensing. The resistance of each proposal was measured in this way. This measurement showed that previously elected proposal 3 simultaneously evoked the most resistance among the voters. Via systemic consensing, every professor could appreciate proposal 6, which evoked the least resistance and therefore has the most acceptance. Prior to see how it actually works, we take a look at Western thinking, where the focus is often on the negative. For example, at home. You did some shopping and brought back 26 items, although you forgot one. Do you receive appreciation? You've emptied the dishwasher, ironed the shirts and tidied up the house, but the bin isn't out yet. What is in the spotlight? What percentage of the news is in the media positive? Also at work, we focus often on the negative. Job seekers can perfectly state what they don't want in a job. It's far more difficult to express what they do want. You managed 14 tasks well in your job and 1 was less successful. What are you being held accountable for? What remains after an evaluation or performance interview? So Western thinking often focuses on the negative. Many people think avoidance oriented and all the rest is considered to be normal. This makes it far more difficult for people to measure their approval. That gives an impure measurement. Because the focus is often on the negative, people can more accurately measure their resistance. For example, as a team building activity, a team member proposes to organize an improvisation workshop. How much resistance would you have? From 0 to 10, 0 when you fully accept, 10 is an absolute resistance. Now, how do you measure this practically? So, in the group decision, each participant can give a maximum resistance of 10 to each proposal. If you multiply the number of participants by 10, you get the maximum group resistance. For example, with 8 participants, the maximum resistance is 80. For each proposal, the participants indicate their resistance, and that is, for example, 40%, the red bar. What remains within the maximum group resistance, the green bar, is the group acceptance for this same proposal. In this case, this particular proposal is supported for 60%, the appreciation or acceptance level. Systemic consensing is similar to how real friends work things out. If someone really doesn't want to go to a particular restaurant because they received bad service, then that restaurant is removed from the list of options, and the friends choose from the remaining restaurants. To make this work, it is important that the group is allowed and willing to decide in this way. A passive solution is added to the list of proposals. For example, everything remains unchanged. Everyone evaluates each proposal as well as the passive solution, 0 being no resistance, 10 being an absolute no-go, and the proposal with the least group resistance has the most acceptance. If we go back to the example of organizing the party, the passive solution chosen here is that the friends themselves prepare spaghetti. Let's fill in each individual preference with a 0. Now, Tom has a slight resistance to pizza. He already ate it this week. He dislikes sushi because he prefers warm food. Barbecue is not his thing at all, as is bolognese sauce. Bah. Karen gets burps from fries. She likes pizza but not rice. Barbecue is a possibility. She is also reluctant to cook. Petra has had fries yesterday. She can live with pizza, but sushi is her absolute #1 favorite. Barbecue is also okay, however she doesn't like cooking at a party. In George's opinion, fries aren't festive enough. Pizza is still okay, sushi is too. He adores barbecue, and he already had spaghetti twice this week. If we add up the resistances, pizza comes out as the solution with the least group resistance and therefore the most acceptance. Advantages of this system: everyone is involved and motivated. The group decision will be more supported. Decision making is based on feeling. Systemic consensing is conflict avoidant. Instead of criticizing proposals of others, systemic consensing stimulates participants to add constructive proposals themselves. You get an insight into personal resistances. Everyone is equal in this system. Systemic consensing stimulates initiatives and creativity. There are 2 variants. Fast consensing, for daily quick decisions on simple topics. It works with a show of hands. 2 hands in front of you means a heavy resistance. 1 hand in front of you is a light resistance. And 1 hand on your heart means you fully accept it. You can compare showing hands to raising the spines of a hedgehog. If in this way the group can't reach an agreement, you can still choose to continue the decision-making process with the second variant, enhanced consensing. Enhanced consensing is for more important decisions with a greater impact. Through empathic listening from non-violent communication, the need behind the resistance becomes clear. At least the voters feel they are being listened to. Here, resistance has an improving function. Through the wisdom of the resistance, if desired, proposals can be adjusted with better strategies, based on the underlying needs. So thanks to the resistance, the quality of the proposals is therefore improved. Let's apply this to the example of organizing the party. When we question Tom's heavy resistance, we hear that he prefers to eat vegan. This allows us to adjust the proposal with a new strategy and resume the measuring of the resistance. This results in a proposal with an even greater acceptance. For the moderator of decisions via systemic consensing, there are some typical pitfalls to avoid, as well as practical tips from our years of experience that we are willing to share in one of our workshops. I hope to see you there.